All right, so here I am with the previous model that we were working on. And just so we see, the 3D model. We have the roof on there. I'm gonna go to the second floor. Now, I personally prefer doing the staircases off on the outside first and then moving them in place. So when I move them on the out or create them on the outside, it gives me the opportunity to really take a look at all the different kind of components, make any changes I need to do, because it gets really difficult to kind of see it all in place from a plan or even in the 3D view. It gets a little tricky as well. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here. And we're going to go ahead and just create a couple staircases first, just to kind of really get the hang of it before creating the staircase for this model here. So I'm in the architecture tab, build panel. Actually, it's the circulation panel. And then we're going to click on stairs. Now you already know we're in sketch mode. We see the X, we see the check mark. And it's going to follow the same kind of structure of all the other commands. We're going to start in the properties box, then go into the options bar, and then we'll create our staircase. So I'm going to click inside here. We have a couple different types of stairs. So we have residential closed two sides and so on. We're going to stick to just the closed two sides. It's easier to understand what these are once we actually have a staircase in place, and we could kind of click on them and see what those look like. So let's start off with the closed two sides. Okay. And actually, I take this back. I need to get out of here. We need to start. So when we create stairs, I'm in the wrong plan. When we create stairs, the stairs are always placed from the floor below. Okay, so our first click is going to be the very first step that goes upward. So with that in mind, I really should be in my first floor. I take that back, I'm sorry. So let's go back, stairs, okay. So the constraint is we want the staircase to go from the first floor up to the second floor, okay? Then there's the desired number. And the desired number is a breakdown, or Revit already does the math for us so that we do not exceed that 7-inch maximum. So if we go into edit type for the staircase, you'll see right here, it says maximum riser height, 7 inches, okay? Minimum tread depth, 11 feet. And then the run width, which means the width of the staircase is 3 feet, which is the minimum that a staircase can be. Okay, so these are with these parameters already in place. Let's hit cancel. Revit has already determined that, okay, if we want to go from first floor up to second floor, and we do not want to exceed 7 inches, then the least amount of stairs that we can that we're going to need is 18 steps. That's the least amount so that we can get as close to 7 inches without going over 7 inches. Okay. But we can, if we wanted to, add more stairs. Adding more stairs changes the riser height. So if we add 20 stairs, well, now our riser height is set to 6 inches. Okay, so now that riser height of each step is a little bit smaller. If we want to go, say, 24 steps, you'll notice that now the riser height is 5 inches. So we can go lower. We could add more steps, which is going to lower the height of each riser, but we cannot. Let's go down to, say, 14 steps. We get an error. Okay, and it's actually not an error, it's a warning. It's saying, I'll do it in 14 steps. It's going to be 8 and whatever fraction that is. But it exceeds the maximum riser height. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel. We're going to leave it at 18. And then we have actual tread, which is 11 inches. Okay. I actually, if I have the space, I prefer setting that up to 12 inches or 1 foot. 1 foot is a little bit more comfortable, I think, when you're walking up steps. But you sometimes don't have that many. You don't have the length or the space to do so. So that's kind of based on the design. And that's it. That's all I am changing or kind of just taking a look at, really. You don't even have to change any of these parameters if you don't want to. Then we have the location line. We have exterior support left, run left, center, right, and exterior support right. So think about a staircase, and we'll explore this when we build. I'm going to start on, let's just stick with center, okay? And as we create the stairs, we'll kind of explore these other options. So I'll hit run center. I'm not going to do an offset, and then actual run width, which means how wide is the staircase? It's set to 3 feet. Just for this example, I'll go up to 5 feet. And then automatic landing is selected, okay? So let's go ahead and just create a stair, and hopefully we'll begin to kind of dig into what these actually mean. So I'm going to click once, okay? And I can see the staircase being created, right? And as I move my cursor, and remember, it's just a click, it's not a click and drag. It's a click once to start, and then move the cursor in the direction you want, and then click to finish. What you'll see is that it's telling me how many risers I've created and how many are remaining, okay? Now notice where my cursor is located. Notice that blue line? It's at the center of the staircase, and that's right here, where it says location line run center. If I go to location run left, it's going to put it on the left side of the stair, okay? But if we zoom in, if I zoom in, you see how the top has that double line? That double line represents the stringer, okay? Remember, the stringer is that side support. So sometimes when we're creating or when we're building stairs, we will actually hide the stringer inside of the drywall so that we don't actually see the stringer on the side. Okay, so sometimes that's hidden inside the actual wall itself. And so this is a situation where if I wanted to say come inside here and follow this line, it's kind of hard, you really can't see. Oh, there we go. Right, I would follow the exterior face of the drywall, and that would mean that the drywall or that the stringer is being hidden within the drywall itself, right? So that's a situation where we would use, oops, that's why that wasn't working. That's a situation where we would use the run left, okay? Now, if we wanted the stringer outside of the drywall, then we would go exterior support left, right? So now look at where my cursor is placed. It's on the exterior side, and it would include the stringer. So that's the difference. Obviously the run right and support right is just the same thing but on the right hand side. Okay. The offset is simply if I want to offset. I'm not sure if I could change this right now. Let's see. Oh, I can. Okay. So if I want to follow a wall, but I want to create the stairs 3 feet away from this wall, that's a situation where I would use the offset tool. Okay. And then automatic landing. So the automatic landing means that it will automatically create a landing for me. So let's say I want to go 8 steps up, and then I'm going to turn the corner. So I'll click to finish that. Now watch what happens when I click. It'll automatically create that landing. It's automatically creating that landing for me. Okay, this is a landing. Okay, so it's where you walk up the stairs and then you land kind of on the top step so that you can turn the corner. So it'll automatically create the landing if you have that command selected. So let me go ahead and delete this. I'm just going to do one straight shot for the staircase. Okay, so we can take a look at it. Now, before we hit the check mark, I'm going to come over here to railing because I want to take a look at the railing. So it's going to ask me, well, where do you want the position of the railings to be? Do you want them on the stringers or do you want them on the treads? So let's go with treads. And then let's go with, I don't know, handrail pipe. And I'll hit OK. Now, nothing is going to change visually right here in my first floor because Revit actually won't install the railing until after we've exited and completed the sketch mode. So at this point, I'm done. I'll hit the check mark, and there's my stair. So let's go take a look at that in the 3D view. Okay. Actually, let's move this farther away. I'm kind of get it away from the building. All right, here we go. So there's my staircase. You'll notice that the balusters, right, are attached to the treads. I'll go ahead and select this, and I can change that. I could change the style of the railing. So let's go handrail right. I'm sorry, rectangular. So that here's the pipe. There's the rectangular. Here you'll see that the balusters are coming. There's a lot more coming down on this side. Okay. So we can make that change. Let's take a look at the actual stairs themselves. So I mentioned that there's different types, right? So this is a good time to take a look and see what are the different types. So this is closed left open. So that means that the left side of the stairs is open, right? Compare that to this side. This side doesn't have that stringer. Okay, click here. There's open two sides. So now there is no stringer support on the sides, it's underneath. Open risers. So now the risers are open, so we could actually see right through them. We have open riser middle stringer. So that moves the stringers from the side of the staircase to the center of the staircase. And then we have residential right open. So it's the opposite of the left side open. Okay. So once you become more familiar with the stairs, you can actually select the one you want from the very beginning. But even if you don't, and you want to make the change afterwards, you can obviously tell that it's a pretty easy thing to do. It's just simply select the staircase and change it to the setting that you want. Okay. All right, let's take we'll do another staircase. Let's go up to stairs. We'll keep all this. We'll go ahead and just keep all this the same. Okay. So in a situation where I'm going to turn a corner, okay, so right here we just did a straight shot, so we could use the center support, right? Center location line. If I want to turn the corner and say, similar to what we're going to be doing over here, right, we're going to go up, turn the corner to the right. Then you're going to want to set your location line to the side of the corner that you're going to turn to. In other words, if I'm going to make a right-hand turn, then I'm going to want to go location line, run right or exterior support right. This really depends on what you're going to be putting over here on this side, and what it is you want to touch. If you want it exposed to the drywall, or do you want it hidden inside of the drywall, things like that. But I'm going to leave it at exterior support right. And I'm going to show you guys why that's important. I'm going to go ahead and click, go straight. And I'm going to go ahead and create 8 risers, right? So click to finish. At this point, I'm in the middle of creating the stairs. So Revit is asking me, where do you want the next set to begin, right? I can essentially click almost anywhere. If I click all the way out here, it'll generate that landing for me. Okay. Let's see if I can. But if I start, let's say, so I created the right, I use the right location line. If I want to make a left-hand turn, then I don't have a reference point to start the left-hand turn. I mean, I could click there, right? But that's not going to work. I could already tell it's going to give me that error sign. So if I have it set to exterior support right, then that means that I could click on this edge and it'll automatically create that. It'll turn to the right, and it gives me, I could use this point here to create a stair that turns to the right. Let's do this one more time. If I was to do a stair that goes to the left, right? I set a certain number, and now I could use this point here to make that turn. Again, if I try using the point down here, if I, let's say I change my mind and I wanted this to turn right, well, at that point, because of the location line, at this point, it's not going to allow me to do it, okay? So that's why setting the location line when you're going to make a turn on a staircase is really important, that it is set, that the location line is set to the direction that you're going to be turning to. So if you're going to make a left-hand turn, set it to location line left. If you're going to make a right-hand turn, set it to location line right. Okay. Let's go ahead and this time let's go with stringers, and just so we can take another look at that. We'll hit OK, hit check mark, and error occurred, baluster square, and another result, but may require review by the family creator. Okay, let's just exit out of there. Let's take a look at that. Where is it? It's over here. Okay, so it looks fine. But you'll notice that the balusters here and the railing is attached to the stringer. So if I was to select this and change it to pipe, that's odd. I'm not sure why that's working out. Let's try it with this one here. So let's change that to pipe. There we go. Right, so that's what it would look like. And you'll see that it's attached to the actual pipe itself, to the actual stringer itself. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and create our staircase now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these. So in this situation, I'm going to be turning right. Remember that we start the staircase on the first floor, okay? And so I'm going to go on the first floor, and I'm going to create a stair, set it to location line, exterior support right. We're going to leave all these numbers, leave it at 18, leave the tread at 11. I'm going to leave it at 5 feet and then also automatic landing. Okay. Now, again, I'm not going to actually create the stair in place, right? I'm going to build it outside over here. So let's say I want to go, let's say 6 risers, 6 steps up. And then from here, I'll go ahead and click and come up like that. And so that's going to be my set of stairs. Okay. I'll go to railing. I want this to hit it on my treads, and I want to use the, let's do rectangle. We'll hit OK, and then I'll hit the check mark. Okay. Take one quick look at it. Make sure it looks correct, that it looks the way you want it to. At this point, if I want to make any changes to this, so let's say, you know what, I really like that open riser middle stringer. Oh, you can't do it because of the railing. So let's change this to, can we do any of this stuff? We could do open riser. That's odd. Why is it not allowing me? Oh, because I'm attaching it to the treads. Okay. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll just leave it as is. Let's go into our first floor. So the question really here is, do you want to see this stringer or do you want it attached into the wall? And I'm going to say, let's put it into the wall. Okay. So that means that I need to, when I move this, It's annoying that those level lines are right there. So let me just kind of move this over somewhere over here. Okay, so that means that when I move this staircase, I want to grab it from this point right here, not this one, because if I move it from this point and I attach it to the wall, that means that this corner here is gonna attach to the exterior side, to the finished side of the wall. If I grab it from inside here, then it's this inside that's gonna be attached to the finished side, meaning that the stringer itself is gonna be hidden. So make a mental note, that's where we're gonna grab it from. So I'll hit the first floor, I'll select my staircase, I'm going to use the move tool, MV. I'm going to zoom all the way in and find that one point, which is right there. So then I'll grab it. And I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to place it right there. And there's my staircase. Okay. Let's go into the 3D view and let's create a section box. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I'm all the way zoomed in. And let's take a look at this. All right, so there's my staircase. Oh, I didn't account for the soffit. That's going to be a pain. Let's see. Let me see if I could edit the stair width. Actually, let's go to the second floor. What did I make my width to? So this needs to go to wall faces. So 3 feet. Okay, so let's select the staircase and we're going to edit the staircase. Okay. So I'll edit the staircase. I'm going to go ahead and select this and change the run width to 3 feet. I'll hit apply. And now I'll select this and I'll change the run width for this to 3 feet. I'll hit apply. So that changed it. Now I can hit the check mark and we're good. We just have to move it again. So I'll hit, let me select the whole thing. I'll hit MV, grab it at that one point again and place it right there. There we go. That works a lot better. So when I go into the 3D view, that's what it should look like. Okay. So that's it for the stairs. Now we're not entirely done just yet because I want to quickly go over the guardrail. Okay, so if we were to actually build this staircase, you'll notice that we're missing a guardrail on the second floor. If I'm standing right here, I need something to protect me from falling over. So I'm going to place a guardrail. Okay, so I'm going to go into the second floor. And I am going to go to, my zoom commands are in the way. Right here where it says railing. Okay. Now railing, again, it's going to take us into sketch mode. So the way the railing works, we're really just going to use the line tool and create that boundary line. And Revit is going to create a rail wherever there's a boundary line. Okay. But when it comes to railing, the line itself has to be continuous. So if I want to create a rail here that goes down, that's fine. But I cannot come over here to the other side and create a separate rail. Okay, that has to be a separate command. So in other words, I'd have to create this one first, hit the check mark, then come back to the railing command again, start it over, and come over here. Okay, so I can't do multiple railings all at the same time. Okay. Now, if I click a line, the line that we create is the center line of the railing. So it's right in the middle of the railing. Now you have to think about this, that the railing has to be attached to the floor. So if I click and I create a line right on this edge here, it's going to give me, let's go ahead and it's going to give me a railing. Let's escape key. It's going to give me a railing right in the middle. So let me go ahead and just create this just so we see what I'm talking about. Let's go to the 3D view. I'm not sure if you can see that, right? You see how that railing is right at the center of that line? Maybe if I go, let's bring this over. Let's take a look at that in section over here. So here's the edge of my floor, and there's the railing. And you see how the railing is, it's only one side that's sitting on the floor. So when we create a railing, we really need to create it kind of offset from this edge. We need to really start somewhere over here. So let's go ahead and delete that railing. Okay. So I'm going to go back to railing. Now we could select the railing that you want. I'm just going to leave it at the handrail rectangular. But I'm going to select offset, and I'm going to also want chain, okay? Because we want it to continue, right? So let's offset this just 2 inches. I think that's enough. And now I'll go ahead and click. And now I can see that magenta line happening on the top, but I really want that magenta line on the bottom side. So I'll hit the space bar, and that's just going to flip it. And then from here, I'll go ahead and click there. And then I'll come down over there. Okay, and by me coming down, once I'm done, I'll hit the escape key. By doing that, it'll automatically join this connection. Okay. Now at this point, I'll hit the check mark and it'll create that railing for me. Let's go to that 3D view. And there we go, right? That looks a lot better. And there we have it. We're not done just yet. We have to adjust our floor and our ceiling, actually. Well, the floor is done correctly. Actually, this is already done correctly because we had originally, actually, let's take a look. Did I do it correctly? Did I get lucky? No, I didn't. So I'm not sure if you could see this turquoise, right? This is the edge of my floor, which is running into my staircase. So if I do a section cut, you'll see. Go ahead and double click. Actually, no, I think I did do it correctly. Let's take another, let's take a section through here. Oops. You, hopefully you're seeing how I'm using these sections cuts to kind of figure out where I'm at. Yeah. So you see the floor, can help. You'll see that the floor ends right here, okay? But the staircase ends over here. So we actually have to move this staircase farther back, okay? So we're going to do that. Let's go up to the second floor. I'm going to select my select the wall, and I'm just going to do the edit boundary, okay? And now I can take this and just move it down there. I could also use the align tool. I'm gonna have to align this right there. And align this to there. And there we have it. That's it. I'll hit the check mark. We'll hit attach. And now let's take a quick look at our reflective ceiling plan, because remember we did those separately. So I had to go to the first floor. So yep, you see I have to change that too. So let's go ahead and select the ceiling and edit the boundary. And I'll just use the align tool, AL. I'll click there and there. That's going to move that boundary line. There and there. That's going to move that boundary line as well. And so that's going to adjust my ceiling outline. I'll hit the check mark. And now everything is correct, and it's in place. Okay, so that's how we go about creating stairs. As you can see, it's pretty simple and straightforward, but there's always additional kind of editing that needs to be done. So you have to make sure that you take a look at all that. Actually, that's more what staircases is. Revit will generate the staircase. You just kind of have to manipulate it and edit everything around it. Now, really quickly, this is very basic and general Revit staircases. We can go in and have and explore kind of additional options that will allow us to customize them, and which we will cover later on in the semester or later on in this. And then there's a third level of kind of customization, which would be to create all of the profiles entirely on your own, which we will not cover in here. So understand that if this is not enough customization, and if you want to do more customizing, then there will be a later lecture for that as well. Okay, thanks.